fuck it.
What airline are you flying?
I hate to say it, but Southwest.
Okay, enjoy your time in Illinois. You're not gonna make it. You're not gonna make it.
So my mom checked the flight the other day, and she said that it's still operational, but that was yesterday. So we'll find out.
Hey, good luck.
I don't think I'm going to be
Good
checking
luck.
my bag. I think I'm keeping that thing
Don't
with
check
me
your
at all
bag,
times.
bro.
So.
Don't check your bag. Southwest really, they I don't know what happened. Apparently, they lost track of where their crew was in their system. So, what the pilots and like flight attendants had to do, they actually had to call crew scheduling. But since there's like 1,000 of them up there, the phone lines were backed up for like 24 hours.
Mm-hmm.
So the company actually had no idea where their crew was.
Is that what happened? Because
Yep.
at first, like when I was seeing it all, I thought it was just about the blizzard. And then after my mom started telling me a little bit about it, then I went online and they were kind of talking about how it was a combination between the blizzard and like something with crew scheduling or some sort of, it was a mix of
Yeah.
internal and external problems.
Yeah, no.
That makes sense.
The FAA, yeah, the FAA is they're thinking about shutting it down until the new year because of like how confusing and how much they goofed.
Yeah. It's not looking good. They are still flying some flights
Yeah.
out. I think it said that 60% of them were canceled. So, I mean, that means 40% are
Yeah.
still flying out. Hopefully I'm 40.
It's like 60% of them are canceled and like 80% of them have delays.
Yeah. It's crazy, man.
It's not good. It's not good.
Not good at all. Do you think that they're going to crash and burn because of this? Do you think they'll recover?
I think it's a fantastic time to start buying some Southwest stocks.
You're wild.
They're at a low,
Yeah.
and if they don't crash and burn, it's gonna go back up to where it was before.
Did your mom ever?
Who knows?
Did your mom ever work for Northwest Airlines, or was she just Delta?
Yeah,
Yeah.
it was Northwest. She did like the whole
The whole
thing.
Yeah.
Bro, we went to the basketball game, right? We missed you.
Yeah, it looks like fun.
I kept on saying, "Oh, it was fun." We lost, obviously.
Yeah.
The Bulls lost, but I thought it was because I wasn't playing. I thought that's the reason why we lost.
You thought you should have been on
But
the
then
court?
I thought I should have been on the court.
Yeah.
I thought I should have been on. But then the next day I went to Lifetime, and when I tell you, I'm not that guy. You gotta believe me. I'm not that guy.
I hate to tell you this, but I kind of knew that you were not that guy. What do you think you are?
Bro, I was trying to pull up from the free throw line, getting nothing but air.
Mm-hmm.
I went in for a layup, missed the backboard. I was BCPB's real.
Yeah, I remember when I was trying out for the basketball team in middle school and high school, I pretty quickly figured out that I can't dribble with my left hand, and that you should probably learn how to dribble with your left hand. That's my biggest weakness.
You should just learn how to. I thought I was confident. Well, because yesterday was the first time I picked up a basketball since I was in Saipan. And in Saipan, I was doing drills, bro.
Mhm.
I would spend pretty much 30 minutes a day just doing some ball handling practice. And to go from where I was to now is dramatic. It's still not the greatest, folks. Not the best out there. But it's better than where I was in the past. And that's all that counts.
Mhm.
But I picked up a basketball, and I was like, what is in my hand? Part of me feels like the basketball just wasn't regulation, and that's the reason why I was struggling so much.
Sure.
And then the basketball hoop, court, lights,
Right.
it just all was not regulation. I'm used to playing regulation, you know?
The wind.
Yep. Someone kept on opening the door.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I'm not used to that.
Right. Yeah, same here.
But today, folks, it's a very significant day. Today, on the day that we're recording this, it is December 29th. It's the last time Tristan and I will talk until the new year. We want to recap. Excuse me. What we want to do today is recap the events of 2022 and kind of talk more so about the goals that we have for 2023 and how we are going to envision it. As always, it is your host with maybe a little bit of the most, Wingard and Triz.
What's up?
Triz, how would you describe your 2022?
Definitely could have been better. I went through a lot of
Yeah.
I went through a lot of personal shit this year. A lot of changes, a lot of ups and downs. But I could say that in the end, it's all working out for the better. Like, I kind of feel like it all needed to happen to be where I am right now. It kind of feels like it like forged me or molded me in a way where, like, I feel completely different about this year coming up than I felt about any other year before. Where it's like other years I'm kind of just like talking shit, like, we're going to do our shit, this, that, and the other, and then eventually it falls off. But, this year I'm 100% serious and 100% dedicated, especially towards this podcasting shit. Like, I want to take this very seriously. I'm going to take this shit to the extreme, and I kind of, where I'm at right now in life, I've kind of been calling this like my incubation period, or like my hibernation period, or a cocoon phase or something, where I just kind of needed to withdraw for a little bit and just kind of take a little bit of time to find myself and align my goals and see what it is that, like, where do I want to go? Because, like, you kind of know where I'm at. Like, the next step for me is going to be a big step, whatever that step is. It's definitely going to be a change than what I'm used to. So, like, how do I want to approach it and how do I want to move forward with it? I've been spending a lot of time kind of like in my mind trying to figure that out. And, I can say that I found answers, and one of them is for sure this podcasting shit. I'm talking about 2023 every week, every week. We're not going to miss a week. If anything, we're going to be trying to pump out a little bit more content than what we've been doing, so, yeah. That's how
I got to agree with you on that one. This podcast is it's like our little baby. We're going to blow this up into something huge.
Right.
So you guys just sit back and wait. What are you sipping on right now?
Remember I was telling you about mud water?
Is that mud water?
Yeah.
Was that a Starbucks cup?
Yeah, it's just a mug that we have in the house.
You look like a basic white girl.
Thanks. I identify as a basic white girl, so it's pretty on brand.
Very powerful. They're very powerful human beings.
Yeah, I do need a mug.
Can't be touched.
I was actually just thinking about that the other day. I need like a signature mug. So
what I do whenever I travel to a new country, I get mugs are what I collect.
That's smart. I'm gonna see what I can find when I'm in Florida.
But keep going with your 2022. Like, how, like, you had to start 2022 at some point, and like, how was that transition? Like, what about the first quarter of 2022? I think one thing I was thinking about was that the year 2022 was kind of like the start of the end of the pandemic. So like around probably March is when. Because, like, at the end of 2021, things were pretty loose. Everyone was like, oh, when is this over? We were all still wearing masks sometimes, But 2022 came around, and then the government said, hey, you don't need to wear your mask on the airplane anymore. So everyone just kind of forgot. So that's like a huge transition in, society in itself.
True. I never realized how much sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. I never realized how much I missed seeing people's smiles.
Oh my god, that was horrible, bro. It's like, I don't know. I didn't like that. It's like humans we're very, we have to see each other's faces to kind of, there's so much information we can get from looking at someone's face and not just their little slit on their eyes.
Right.
People are beautiful, I like looking at people.
Yeah, there's a lot when you're like talking to someone. There's a lot of information that you can gather from them, like, and that goes beyond just like the smile, but like their body language, how their eyes are moving. Are they looking at you? Are they looking away? How are they smiling? Is it a good smile? Is it a bad smile? Is it a fake smile? And like, I definitely feel like smiles are a big part of that nonverbal communication, and not being able to see that kind of like not disembodies the person, but like, it doesn't feel nearly as authentic.
Yeah, it's not as intimate. Yeah. I feel
it kind of feels like you're talking to a robot or something.
Well, it's kind of like right now, like we're having a conversation through the internet, which is, again, that is crazy that we're having a conversation. I cannot explain to anyone. I always think about this, bro. Like, if I ever went to in the past, what information would I bring to people? Right. And how would I explain the internet to someone?
I know.
I don't know how to make...
Right? It's pretty wacky.
I don't know how to make the internet. I don't know how I get to see you in your room right now through... I don't know. But where was I going with that? I was going these tangents and I just lose my train of thought instantly.
We're talking about seeing people's smiles.
Oh, yeah. So, like, we're talking through the internet right now. But it's not the same as talking to you in person, It's like I can still read your face, but just being in person, it would make our conversation potentially be that much better. And I guess in relation to that is just when you have the mask on, it's just like less information that your brain is able to process. And it's not the same. It's not the same.
Right. And being in the same room, it kind of feels like the room takes on a certain energy level, where like that's definitely a part of it too. We're like doing it online, it's not really the case. I mean, I am listening to you and then giving you feedback, and then you're listening to me and giving me feedback. But like, there's more to communication than what we generally realize. There's a lot of like subconscious processing going on where like, kind of like you said, the more information that you're receiving, the better the communication is. And, we're doing this online, like, it is an effective form of communication, but not as effective as it could be. And the same thing went with wearing masks.
I'm pretty sure that's Mark Zuckerberg's whole thing with the metaverse.
What's that?
Like, I don't know how to describe the metaverse. But he was saying...
I know the metaverse. I was saying, like, what were you getting at with Mark Zuckerberg?
Well, no, well, that, like, we're not there, Yeah. Like, but, like, the metaverse is supposed to be a way where we can virtually all be together, and it's not like I'm talking to you through a computer screen. I'm talking to your actual digital avatar.
Yeah, it's weird how a lot of that stuff, like social media platforms and even like the metaverse coming up, is changing communication. Because like...
I cut you off completely. I'm sorry.
No, that's good. So like, think about Twitter. Like when Twitter came into the picture, like think about how much that changed the way that we communicate with each other. Where like, like you can
go to MySpace.
Yeah, right. Like you can communicate with people all the way around the world with like a certain amount of characters, and like that like sort of communication filter that Twitter has. Like everything that you say and think is being fed through that and then received by massive amounts of people. And it changes like the way that you're perceived. I could say like one sentence to you and say the same sentence on Twitter, and Twitter will receive that sentence completely differently than me saying it. Not only because it's words, but also because it's Twitter, and because like there's so many different perspectives on what it is that you're saying and who you are. Like all of your previous posts are then going to lead up to that one post that you just made. All the pictures that you have, your profile picture, your biography, all that kind of comes together to paint this picture of you that's not 100% accurate. There's a lot of people that we idolize, such as like musicians and celebrities and all that, where like
Kanye.
yeah, you know, and like you have this image of them in your head, and you think that you know this person and know how they are, but when you meet them in person, it's completely different because you realize that they have like certain habits, behaviors, mannerisms, certain ways of speaking. Like it's different than like what you're seeing online, and completely different than what they're posting on Twitter. So
Yeah, it's kind of like how they say you're never supposed to meet your childhood hero or your hero because they're never going to be the person who you picture them. I think it just comes down to there's this thing called expectation bias, and I think that's what pretty much you're talking about is a form of expectation bias.
that's real shit. And then like kind of wrapping back around to what we were talking about before is like, I mean, how's the metaverse going to change that? You know, we're like you're not communicating with like what a person really looks like, but an avatar. You know, I mean, you could have a boss and not really know in the real world what your boss looks like. You could have no idea.
Yeah.
He could be putting on a front.
Do you do the be real?
No, but my coworker does.
What are your thoughts on be real?
I'm not gonna lie, I think it's a pretty cool idea.
Really?
Yeah, you know, it's not my thing. Like, I wouldn't really hop on the platform, but I think the idea of it, like whoever came up with the idea, because it's kind of like it's almost counter to regular social media, where like a lot of that is driven by not being real. It's more like you're putting on a mask. Where like this is the alternative to that, where it's like you can't really do that. You have to take a picture of whatever it is that you're doing in that moment. So like it was almost like addressing a problem with social media. I like that about it. But
I see. So when I first heard about Be Real, it was on an SNL skit, and I thought they just made. I was watching the skit, and I was like, "Oh, this is 100% just a joke. They invented this thing because it just sounds so stupid." And then like a couple of days passed, and people are like, "Oh, it's time to be real," and I was like, "Ha, that's so funny. You guys watch SNL?" They're like, "What?" And they're like, "No, this is actually an app." So I was a part of a Be Real.
nice.
But you bring, I guess, I don't know.
Yeah,
You know how I feel about social media, so.
my coworker's been really into it. Shout out to Jeff. I've been in a couple of B reels, and he's kind of showed me other people's B reels too, and like sometimes there's some pretty good ones. Like there was one that I saw where it's like, so like you know how it takes pictures of both like what's in front of you and like it uses both cameras in the B reel.
Yeah.
There was one that he showed me of. He was at football practice, whoever the guy posted this picture, and he had the ref take a picture of his team, and then the front picture was the ref, which like it was just funny, you know, because I don't know, just like situationally funny. Just the fact that you have the referee taking a photo for your Be Real. I don't know, it's just stupid shit like that.
How do you see using social media in 2023? Because you took a little hiatus, and you've only been back on like online for a couple of months now. So how do you feel like you're gonna, like, I guess, what was your transition like going from, because you were off social media for like, what was it, like a year or two?
Yeah, a year and a half or two. I think it was a year and a half.
So like you went a year and a half without social media. Also a year and a half, that's like pandemic times too, where everyone kind of leaned really heavily into social media. And now you transition into, well, like, what's that transition like?
I will say that the two big takeaways from the whole thing. Number one, social media is a large distraction, and it's an easy distraction, you know? So, like, whatever it is that you need to be working on, or maybe should be working on, or could be working on, at any single time you start to feel that resistance, you know, that's a good book, by the way, The War of Art. I think you and I talked about it once. But any single time you start to feel that resistance,
yeah, we read it.
Yeah, when you start to feel that resistance from whatever it is that you're doing, then social media is an easy way out. You know, so trying to counteract that is it's a challenge. You know, I mean, one way is to just completely get rid of it. You know, another way is to kind of like regulate your usage. There's different ways to do it. But the second biggest takeaway that I got is I don't think that social media is like inherently bad. I think that we just don't know how to use it. You know, so moving into 2023, what I really want to focus on is using social media as a tool to sort of elevate myself. You know, like I want my posts to be very methodical and I guess more than just myself, but also other people and like other causes and things like that. But like if I'm posting something, I want there to be like an actual reason why I'm posting it, you know, and also try to avoid mindless scrolling.
Oh, mindless scrolling is horrible.
Yeah.
But like, you want to be able to use social media and kind of like again, like our what is it? Not a motto. Our mission statement for this podcast to elevate minds and thoughts.
Right. You know, like when you are engaging with a social media platform, think of it literally as a tool. Like, what is this tool in your hand, and how can you use it to help you, instead of just posting things? You know, and I'm guilty of this too. Like a lot of times we post things just to like get eyes. You know, you want likes, you want people to look at it, you know, everything like that. You want people to kind of like admire you sometimes. We're all guilty of it, you know. But like, you know, like why did you post that exactly? Is there anything more to it than just the photo? You know, is there a reason? Is there a link to go somewhere? Anything like that? And still, even though I took that year and a half off of social media, I still find myself mindlessly scrolling sometimes. Not nearly as much as I was before the break, but still, I do it. You know, so like this is going to be an ongoing thing. You catch yourself,
really?
Yeah, I definitely catch myself.
I'm not off of social media. I just rarely use it. It's on my second phone. It's my backup. So I have two phones, folks. I have one phone. What is this song? One for the plug and one for the hose or something like that. No, it's not like that.
Something like that.
But
shout out Kevin Gates.
I got two phones. But it's just on my second phone. And I'd never go on that phone, so I never really think about it. But I like still sometimes like YouTube is a huge distraction for me, huge, and I find myself like going on like the YouTube Shorts, and it's just like it's instant dopamine, and I catch myself, and I'm like, hey, I should be doing something else with my time right now, opposed to scrolling. It's hard. I understand how people get like caught up in that rat race. Not a rat race, but that continuous cycle of mindlessly scrolling because you're always trying to find stuff. Yeah, it's so easy. It's constant information that your brain's is trying to process. But before you can even process it, you're on to the next. Right. Then you're on to the next.
And it's always something new. Every single scroll is something new that you haven't seen before.
Yeah, it's definitely it's hard and challenging.
Yeah, TikTok really nailed something. It's kind of scary.
They cracked the code.
Yeah, and it's weird because like it's almost like a contrast to podcasts where like it's more long form and drawn out, and you got to listen to the whole thing. Where this is just like 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds, 10 seconds. You know,
10 seconds to the next, 10 seconds to the next.
Exactly.
I agree with you. Social media is not inherently bad, but I just feel like a lot of people they use it as an escape opposed to a tool.
Yeah.
And then that is one people. And you lose out on the intimacy of life too, because everyone they try to post the perfect photo. Mm-hmm. And it's like I remember I don't know. You ever watch those makeup videos where someone posted like the before and after of makeup?
I may have come across like a couple, but
it's like, well, I guess back when I was on TikTok, that's what it would pop up on my screen. It was like someone that would post a picture of them before they put makeup on, and then she posted a picture of her with makeup on. Two completely different human beings.
Yeah.
But they use that with filters, and I understand that's not me. Whenever I post, it's like you get the most authentic version of myself.
I feel that. I like to try and be the same way, although sometimes I'm not perfect at it. I also kind of want to wrap back around to something that you said earlier when you were talking about YouTube. Um, One of the things that I've been doing in 2022 that I want to do differently in 2023 is when I am browsing through YouTube, I also kind of find myself trying to find videos that distract me from doing my work, like the type of stuff that I'm watching. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of it is kind of like mindless. Like it's meant to like get me away from what it is I need to be doing instead of watching videos that sort of enhance my knowledge or help me with what it is that I'm doing. I have that problem. So like I would like to go into 2023 being more selective about what kind of videos I watch when I do take that downtime to watch YouTube.
Mm-hmm. No, I find myself in that rabbit hole too. I guess my recommendations. I watch a lot of like nerdy stuff, like fact stuff. It's very sciencey, geography based. I don't know. I probably watch a lot of SciShow and just a lot of information, but still, that time could be. I mean, like Stanford literally posts their lectures online. You don't have to go to college when you can just watch Stanford University's classes.
Right?
There's so much information out there. It's just like how you use that time, and that's so difficult, especially when you grow up. Once you like pass high school and you actually become an adult, and there's no longer you don't have what word am I looking for? You don't have an actual set schedule. You don't have deadlines. You have to put deadlines to yourself. And that can be very challenging because I struggle with that as well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there's no one.
So that's one.
There's no one telling you that you need to learn that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like there usually is.
One of my goals for 2023 is to be in a leadership role. Leadership role and some type of public speaking activity.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, how am I going to do that? I'm asking myself how, but it's a goal. And by 2024, I will be in a leadership role and have a public speaking opportunity. And I have to just make myself a deadline to make it happen. I have to plan it out.
What kind of a leadership role do you envision yourself in?
I want to say something within the company, but I also, back when I was in Norfolk, I was very heavily into the not-for-profit world, so I feel like I'm going to slowly transition back, because I also want to, another one of my goals for 2020, I want to dedicate 20 hours a month to volunteering.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like I can steal one of those hours watching YouTube. Instead of that, I can volunteer. So I can probably find something within a not-for-profit volunteer group.
That's dope.
I want to be a like a big brother. You ever heard of those?
Nah, explain.
So you go to like an orphanage or a youth center, and you kind of just mentor young kids.
I like that.
You're a positive role model in their life. And that's kind of what I want to do.
Yeah, I like to hear that you're getting into volunteering. That's definitely something that I got to do more of, like charity work and stuff.
Well, that's another thing that we didn't really talk about it, but with this platform that we have, I don't think like whatever money we get gifted to us, I don't think that money should stay with us. We have to give back. Giving back is so important in life, and like I think that around 10% at the minimum should go to some type of charity or some person in need.
Mm-hmm. I agree. Yeah, I think
just to give back. Giving back is important.
Yeah, and especially like when we do get to the point where we are having like guests and other people on, like I would definitely like to ask them what kind of causes they're passionate about and what they feel like needs more funding, and I would also like to donate to those places too.
Yeah, I think that would be nice. And I don't know. One thing that I struggle with in my everyday life is like the lack of fulfillment. And what's the saying? It's better to give than receive.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess it's not a 2023 goal, but it's certainly a personal focus on mine. Because it is something that I do struggle with. I don't feel, like you feel like I'm living, I'm breathing, but I just don't feel like I lived yet,
Yeah, there's more that you haven't seen yet.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed.
So that's another focus of mine too.
Yeah,
and that's kind of where the volunteering comes into play.
Mm-hmm. I feel that as well. My biggest focus in 2023 is travel. I definitely want to see more of the world. I think I want to go to either like 2 or 3 different places this year for sure. At least, if I could do more, then I'm going to do more. But like, even when if I have like a day or 2 off, like I might want to travel somewhere, even in state, just to go be somewhere else. But like
a staycation.
Yeah, like if I have a break, like on my spring break, we're talking about doing some sort of vacation. Like it would be cool to actually travel somewhere.
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah, and then my mom and I are talking about doing something. Connor's moving to Minnesota. Yeah, Minnesota. So like I'd like to go see him at some point. Yeah.
When's he moving?
Well, so he has a job offer on the table. I think he's gonna take it. I can't speak for him though. I'm just assuming that he's gonna take it because it's.
Now speak for him.
I don't want to put words in his mouth. He was kind of on the fence about it, but like from the way it sounds, he's gonna take it. So I mean, if he takes it, I'd like to go down there at some point and see him. Like I just want to be around, bro. I want to see more than what I've seen, and I'm still young, and now single, so be cool.
You're entering your mid-20s.
Yeah.
In a couple of weeks.
I know.
So I wouldn't say young.
Right. My back's starting to hurt.
Bro, my back really do be hurting sometimes.
Yeah, I swear, bro.
I wake up, I sit down for too long, I stand up like, it's not it.
I really have to stretch in the morning.
Age thing.
Yeah, I'm stiff.
But no, traveling is going to be fun. Traveling is always fun. I always value. One thing that whenever I talk, when you talk to someone, you kind of just, you get to know them, and like everyone has like a couple of questions that they use to vet people out.
Mm-hmm.
One of my questions that I use to vet people out is travel and like what their views on travel is. I had this one roommate in college. He said he was like, "Oh, I'd never want to travel outside the country. Why would I want to go somewhere else besides here? This place is amazing." And I was like, "You clearly have never been outside the country with an attitude like that."
Right.
But that was like a flag. That was like a hard flag in my book.
Mm-hmm. How do you feel about like? So, although I do believe that you should travel, to see other places, how do you feel about sort of like adapting to your environment? Just like your sort of home turf. I think one of the things that we do as human beings is we try to become like masters of our environment, essentially. So how do you balance that out between like trying to become a master of your own environment and seeing other places of the world? Or do you even think that we should try and become masters of our own environment? Like, what are your thoughts on all that?
I don't know. That's challenging for me because I like to be at home. I like to be at home. I'm very comfortable at home, but I also love experiencing new things. Mm-hmm. Part of me feels like I want to say no, it does not matter about being master of my own home environment, because like, I want to see everything. Like I don't know. I don't know. I just want to see so much more in the world. And I've lived here for what, 23 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I haven't seen another. I haven't. The longest time I've been away from the States was in Saipan, and that was for 6 months, and I loved it. And I could live there if it wasn't 38 hours away.
Yeah. Would you live on an island?
Oh, that's where I'm trying to make next move, man. It's gonna be a sailboat. Well, I mean, it's not the 2023 goal, but by 2024, I want to have a house that's like a rental property to generate a lot more passive income. 2025, move out of the rental house and move onto a sailboat in the Caribbean, and then live my life there and make that my home.
That's cool.
I need to be by the water. I don't know. I feel like like there's mountain people, then there's beach people.
Yeah.
I'm 100% a beach person. I like the lifestyle of being on the beach. I like the environment. I just like waking up and seeing water. Like today.
I like hearing it. I like listening to it in the morning. Yeah, that's dope.
Waves crashing.
And at night.
I get lost in staring at the endless horizon. Like, it's not. I will say, like, whenever I go to like a mountain range, it's truly breathtaking. You know, I'm in constant awe. I like that, but whenever I look at the horizon, over water, I don't know. It's just I think, you know.
Yeah.
It's a blank canvas for me. It really is just like a blank canvas, and the mind just wanders wherever it wants to wander. And then the mountain range it's I'm looking at a work of art, right, and I interpret the art. Well, that's actually a really good way to put it. I never thought of it like that.
Yeah, I've always thought, like, when you are looking at a horizon like that, like, behind you is human civilization, and in front of you is no human civilization for a while. Mm-hmm. It's just endless ocean.
I love it. I absolutely love it. There's just something. It's like scary and peaceful at the same time. It truly has to be respected.
It's humbling.
Quite humbling.
Yeah.
I love it. I absolutely love it.
It has a vibe.
But I do know that, like, part of my with my minty, water is a huge deal. I need to be by some type of water. It can be a river, but water, a big body of water, is important. Also, stretch in the morning. If I do not stretch in the morning, my quality of life dramatically decreases.
Same here.
Yeah, it's weird. It's weird.
That was a good little tangent. You know what I kind of realized about myself too? Like, now that we're kind of speaking on what it is that we want, I realized that I'm not going to put a date on it just yet. I'm definitely going to spend 2023 kind of figuring out my thoughts on this. But I came to the realization recently that I want to own a studio. Just like
a music studio?
Nah, I think I want it to be like an art / photography / video studio. You know, it's kind of, this is where it gets a little weird, because, like, I don't really know exactly what I want it to be, besides, like, I just kind of want to do a lot of things in the studio. I know that at some point...
You want a creative space.
Yeah, exactly. I know that one of the things is, like, as we move on with this podcast, too, like, I want to start doing interviews. It would be cool to have a physical space to do those interviews in. So, like, that would be one thing that would be in the studio. But, like, I'm also going to start getting into photography. So, like, in the studio space, I'd like to, like, do certain things and take photographs of them and make art. And, you know, you said it perfectly. Like, I just kind of want, like, a creative space. And I have some ideas that are, like, bouncing around in my head about, like, what it would look like, you know, but, like, none of that is set in stone. Like, this is a really a new idea that I had not too long ago. So, like, I definitely want to spend this upcoming year kind of figuring that out. Like, what does that look like? But that's for sure on my list of goals. Is I want to own a space of my own.
That's like what a lot of artists do. We watched this video one time, but it was basically about what's the routine of successful artists, and it pretty much comes to you just have to do it, and we know that one because we both read the book, The War of Art. If you want to paint, be a painter. You got to paint. If you want to write, you got to write. If you want to sing, you got to sing.
Right.
It's not hard. It's not hard. It's not a hard code to crack.
I still have a quote. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. We'll get right back to you. You have a quote that still rings in my head. You said to me once, because I was telling you about how I wanted to be a writer, and you told me, you said, painters paint, arters art, and writers write. That was bars. I still keep that in my head.
But so you have to do it. Too, everyone. It's like Picasso, Mozart, Beethoven. They all went on walks. So like that's another key element to becoming a successful person of art.
Mm-hmm.
But you just got to do it. That's pretty much what it comes down to. And walk. But you knock out the walking quite heavily.
It's cold outside.
It is, dude. It's 52 degrees right now.
Yeah, actually, okay. Today is not cold, but a couple of days ago we were in the middle of a
blizzard. Bro, God just mollywopped us with.
Yeah, how do you feel about what's up with the fluctuating weather like that? Why is it going up and down? You think that's weird?
I don't know.
That's weird to me.
Man, the world's burning. We all know it.
Right.
Look, the world's it. All right, the weather's not it, Coach. It's not it. It's not good. It's not good.
Yeah, kid you not. It was -7 degrees outside last week, and today it's the high is what? I don't know, but it's 48 degrees right now.
52.
The high is 52 today.
52. It's not good. It's not
10
good.
a.m. right now, and it's 48 degrees, and we're in today's December 29th. Like, that's weird. What's up with that?
It's not it, Coach. It's not it. Take me out.
Right.
Take me out. That's one of mainly what I want to do with my volunteer time. It's one, Big Brother, 2, environment, because we ain't doing it right. The one thing I will say, I am a paper towel abuser. I love paper towels.
Me too.
Trees can die for my paper towels. Okay. Another hot take. I like the flushable wipes that you're not supposed to flush.
You're not supposed to flush them? I also use flushable
You're not supposed to flush them. No, they're honestly horrible for the environment. Horrible.
Really?
Horrible. No, yeah,
I'll just keep them and reuse them.
I don't do that.
Maybe I can use them to blow my nose.
Let's not do that. We're gonna X that one out the book right away.
Just throwing out ideas.
But what we're doing with this environment right now is not it. Not it.
Yeah.
Not it.
I'm kind of on a little bit of a sustainability kick, where I definitely see
use plastic bags
to recycle. So like we have water bottles, like plastic water bottles. I'll use a plastic bag.
No. When you go to the grocery store, Tristan,
oh,
are you bringing a reusable bag or are you taking 50 plastic bags?
We do take plastic bags. However, we save them.
Why? Why do you save them?
So like, I was just explaining, like with water bottles, like I'll drink a water bottle and then I'll put it in the plastic bag and then recycle that. Or sometimes we use them as like can liners. I don't know. You never know when you might need a plastic bag.
You never need a plastic bag. They're horrible for the environment.
Yeah. I probably should start.
I hope you know. I hope you know. I hope you know. Every plastic bag that you have, that's 5 African children that you killed.
Damn. Alright, stop using plastic bags. That's real shit. Yeah. How do you feel about? Have you, or let me ask, like, have you been hearing anything about the nuclear fusion energy?
Isn't there's like a new way to make nuclear fission right now? I haven't looked it into, but I'm a big proponent for nuclear energy.
Yeah.
I think nuclear is the answer. It's just that, like, when it goes bad, it goes very bad. But it's also like one of the safest, cleanest forms of energy.
So this is a very, like, not well-informed opinion. This is just based on, like, maybe the 3 or 4 videos that I watched. But
Nah. Quote it. Say. I know exactly what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I'm a
scientist. I am
scientist.
an amateur nuclear physicist.
Right.
Scientist.
So
What is it?
nuclear fusion is the same process that powers the sun. Number 1. Number 2, it's different than traditional nuclear energy in that I think for some reason you can't really have meltdowns with this. It's like a more stable version of the nuclear power that we're used to using. I don't think it's radioactive. And number 3, why it's such a big deal is because there was a really big scientific breakthrough maybe like less than a month ago, actually. I think it was at the beginning of this month, where they were using nuclear fusion and they put in to, like, whatever the machine is that they're testing this with, they put in a certain amount of power and got back more power than what they put in. So it creates energy, which is a really big deal. That could be used to power.
I don't think
like,
that's possible.
It's possible. They did it.
No, well, I mean, like the third law of thermodynamics is energy cannot be, it's like created or destroyed or something like that.
You'd have to watch the video to have them explain it. But yeah, I think they put in like 1 watt of power and got back like 1.5, something like that. So like that's why it's such a big deal.
That if that is true, that is absolutely a huge moment for science. Because you heard like it's like propelling motion machines. It's like it's pretty much like an endless loop of energy. It's like the you know the balls, the
Newton balls.
Those yeah, the Newton balls.
To explain it, yeah.
Like the Newton balls, because it transfers the energy between the two. But you know how at some point it does stop because energy is constantly being used, and at some point you're not going to have any energy, and that's the whole point with the propelling motion or whatever it's called. But if they're able to generate more power than they used to start, that's huge, absolutely huge for science.
Yeah.
I want my electric bill to go down now. Yeah. I want it to go down.
I'm gonna have to call them up.
I'm leaving all the lights on.
Yeah. I could be explaining it completely wrong and just sound like a fucking idiot. That's also possible too. But all I know is that it's a big deal and it's pretty cool. Like it's gonna be like a decade or 2 away, but like apparently this is shit that could like power our cities and everything. So like it is a very big deal, whatever they discovered.
You remember that Rick and Morty episode where like the car died, the battery died, and then it was just like a whole miniature universe?
That was dope.
Power.
I love Rick and Morty. That episode was so dope.
They had like another universe powering.
Yeah.
Like their car.
Yeah.
And then they got mad because they both realized what they were doing.
Right. And they're talking about like peace among worlds and flipping each other off.
Yeah.
That episode was crazy.
Rick and Morty, those writers are absolutely amazing.
Yeah, those are some deep thoughts, man. Their episodes really have you thinking about a lot of stuff.
Honestly, since we're talking about cartoons, one of my favorite cartoons is The Amazing World of Gumball.
I know how much you
I don't
love
know.
that show.
I love that show. I was watching it, and what did you do? What would you do if someone said that that you remind them of a visual representation of drinking orange juice after brushing your teeth?
That sounds kind of fucked up.
That would be.
Apparently it tastes like
Someone-
battery acid, right?
Have you never done that before?
No.
Not even by accident. You just haven't
No.
brushed your teeth and like, oh, I'm gonna go grab or eat an orange. That's never happened to you.
Nope. Not that I can
I
recall.
feel like you should do it. You should do it. You
No
should
thanks.
do it and record yourself doing
If
it.
anything, you just gave me a reason not to do it.
I feel like you should do it though. I mean, it's you had to have done it. That's crazy if you haven't done that before.
Nah. Maybe I'll do it on the pod. I probably have done it before and just didn't really pay any attention to it. I probably just continued to drink it. I was like, it tastes
Did
better
you
than
like
usual.
it?
I don't know.
It does not. Are you not an orange juice person? You do like orange juice.
Yeah, I like orange juice, but I usually eat before I brush my teeth.
Well, yeah, I do that too, so it does help. But sometimes I brush my teeth. I'm like, hey, I can use a glass of OJ.
Yeah, and then it just fucks you up.
Mm-hmm. You're gonna do that. I'm upset now.
Yep.
It actually made me upset.
For sure.
We're getting towards the end of the podcast. We're almost at the hour mark, but just want to run through your goals, and I don't know if you wrote them down or not.
Yeah.
I know we talked a little bit about it, but like run through it and just give a little bit of the reason why. Like maybe like a 1 or 2 sentence explanation on why that's one of your goals.
Definitely. Number one, I talked about a little earlier. Definitely traveling, seeing more of the world, seeing more cultures, meeting more people, kind of getting to understand things that aren't, that I haven't really been exposed to yet. That includes traveling to other places inside the United States, outside the United States, and then just maybe finding myself in places that I didn't really expect I would ever find myself in. That's big. For the podcast, I definitely want to be able to distribute to all streaming platforms. The main ones right now on my list of goals are Spotify, which we're on, Google Podcasts, which I got to check, Apple Podcasts, which I'm working on right now, and then YouTube, which Wingard over here is working on. Monetize it, so get the Patreon all set up, YouTube all set up, and then Spotify has like a revenue program, I think, where they can give us like ads and stuff, so check that out, see how that's going to work out. Throughout 2023, I would really like to start conducting interviews. That's pretty high up there. I'm not going to have any major guests on or anything, but probably just people close to me, people that either mean a lot to me or have some sort of significance in my life. I have like a little list of people that I'd like to interview, so talk to them for like an hour or two and start to develop that skill. And then lastly, I think at some point I would like to add in the Paper Bag Boys. So I've talked to them about maybe doing a pod, maybe maybe once a month or once every other month, something like that, just to catch up and do what we usually do when we ask each other questions and stuff. And I think most importantly, above all, is consistency. I really want to be consistent with the podcast and make sure that it's getting posted when it needs to be posted on time. So, yeah, those are the main ones for me. And spread love.
You have any like personal goals, like growth goals?
Growth goals, travel, workout. I've been pretty good with meditation, but continuing to do that and just self-care in general. Yeah. And I'm starting college at University of Illinois Chicago, so I guess you could.
UIC.
Yeah, UIC. Yeah. I guess you could call that a growth goal. Definitely expanding my network.
Yeah.
Just really trying to make my voice heard. That's something that I was never really good at growing up. So, and my communication skills, that's something that I'm always actively working on, is trying to listen and really interpret what it is that people are saying and then give genuine feedback. So continuing to develop that skill. And I could also do better at cooking for myself. So throw that on there too.
Yeah, you could.
Yeah.
You could do better with cooking for yourself.
Thanks. Thank you for your input.
Oh, thank you. I would never want to taste food from your kitchen. That's not an insult. That's a compliment.
Hey, I throw it down on breakfast, bro. I'll cook you a killer breakfast.
What's for breakfast then?
Bacon, eggs, and toast. Some scrambled eggs with some cheese and some hot sauce, some bacon cooked extra crispy, and then maybe like an English muffin with some butter and jelly. And a glass of orange juice.
Ooh, okay. After we brush our teeth, of course.
Yeah. That's good.
Oh.
What about you? What are your goals for 2023?
2022 goals. 2023 goals. I want to generate sales from a business. That's just generate sales from a business is one, and then also have $500 a month in passive income. Mm-hmm. A lot of my goals are financial goals, just to help set me up a little bit better for the future. In 2022, my goal was to read 5 books. I ended up reading around, I think, 12 or 13 books.
Let's go.
So this year, my goal, I put 10 books as my goal. And I'm fairly certain I'm going to exceed that. I want to work out 18 days a month. Leadership role, and volunteer 20 hours a month.
It's a nice little list you got there.
I feel like, yeah, I'm actually, they're going to be challenging. I know the workout one's going to especially be challenging, but I'm trying to really move myself into the best version of myself, and this is one of the steps for me to do it.
Me too. I feel that. Definitely trying to get to my, I guess you could say, peak form. Definitely need to start working out more.
Well,
so
yeah.
I feel that too.
We should train for a marathon
Next year.
I know that
2024
year's coming up.
No, 2024. We'll train to do a marathon in 2024. How about that?
I feel like we should start training now, and then we're gonna run the marathon in June.
No, I say train in 2023, run the marathon in 2024.
If you don't want to run a marathon,
we'll run the marathon just in 2024. I'm not ready for a 2023 marathon. I am not in shape at all.
Exactly, that's why you have to get in shape.
Yeah, so 2023 I get in shape, 2024 we run a marathon.
Go just watch an episode of Creed, and then I'm gonna ask you again about the marathon.
All right, maybe I'll be ready. Wait.
We are moving 2023. It is the Jordan year. Just so you know, it's like everyone's gonna be in their Jordan in '96 year.
Facts.
It's gonna be a big thing. I'm excited. The older I get, the more happier and excited I get about living this wonderful thing that we call life. It is absolutely the best part about waking up, is realizing I get to live again.
Yeah, 2023 is having a different type
compared to the alternative.
Sure. Yeah. Different type beat.
New year, new me. New year, different me. I feel like I'm Jordan in '96, pulling up in a brand new whip.
Oh.
Avoiding the switch. Having sex with your bitch.
Oh. Whenever I leave the restaurant, I never forget the tip.
Ooh. Oh, snap. You got anything else, man?
Nothing specific. I think I got it all out. This
I'm
platform
excited.
is for sure going places. You and I are for sure going places, and let's help the people around us go places.
I feel like when we do the spring break trip, that could definitely be something. It could be like their first interview with the actual Paper Bag Boys, and Well, for you guys who don't know, the paper bag boys is what we called our friend group back in high school and middle school.
They've been referenced
but like
a
we can
couple
act.
of times.
Yeah, they have. But it's that trip, it can be the start. Like we could document everything, and then if you want to travel, bro, just let me know where you want to go, and I got you, and I'll come with you. I need a month in advance to know.
Yep.
But we can. I'm down to go anywhere.
I think some of them are going to be pretty spontaneous. So like, yeah, I'll let you know. Or be like, hey, like I'm trying to do this next month.
I just need a month notice, and I can weasel my schedule. But we can definitely make a lot of stuff happen.
Let's do it then. Let's make it happen.
Let's do it. Oh, and then also, I feel like we need to work on our exits a little bit better too. I don't like how we end our podcast.
What, you want an outro? I'm not good at intros and outros. I just talk.
I know. I realize you're not the greatest at either one of those.
Yeah. When it starts, it starts, and when it ends, it ends.
Yeah, we're gonna do some good stuff. I need to sleep a little bit before my flight. I've been up since like 7 a.m. and I fell asleep at 5.
Yeah, I gotta finish packing and shit too. So.
All
right,
man.
Peace out.
See you next year.
Yep.
Have a good one, folks.